This is one of the workers, the landscape workers here at the Raj Villa at the Oberoi in Jaipur. I politely asked her to pose for me. She's got a beautiful dress, a beautiful face, and she has no clue as to what I'm saying. She probably doesn't speak English, but she's friendly enough to pose. So we're gonna get a couple nice, simple portraits. So I put her in direct light. The light is facing right to her right shoulder, and I've placed her intentionally around this green foliage, and you can see some of the flowers that will match the print on her dress. So let's take a couple shots. Exposure reticle right on her face. The frame looks dark in my retina screen, but I promise you, the way it will look on a screen is phenomenal. It's got nice side lighting on her face. So again, we are here continuing our lesson on cultural portraiture, and we have a horse-drawn carriage that's literally to die for. It's part of the property of the Raj Villa here at Oberoi in Jaipur. This is the driver of the carriage that takes guests around the property at their leisure and their request. Okay. So I like this shot a lot because we have part of his turban, which he's dressed well, and we have some nice greenery in the background. He's handsome, got a handsome face. So I'm gonna basically just concentrate on this part right here and see what I can get. I am using my Camera Plus app, and he has a darker complexion. So I'm setting my exposure right here on his shirt, not on his face. And my exposure is now locked. And we don't want to get too close. About an arm's length is really pretty good. The exposure value is between his shirt, which is generally light, and his skin, which is generally a little dark. There's a lot of exposure difference between here and here. So if I expose for his face, his shirt's going to be blown out. I'm going to lose detail in the highlights. If I expose for his shirt, then his face is going to be too dark, and there's nothing that I can do about it. So I'm going to pick a point right about here, put my Camera Plus reticle, lock the exposure here, and kind of split the difference, okay? So we have Ulysses. He's one of the staffers here, and I just want to talk about just general backgrounds that you'd use to actually take a portrait with. Let's just say Ulysses was a friend of mine, a colleague, a neighbor, a schoolmate, whatever, and I wanted to grab a shot. I grab him, I stick him in front of something, but I want to stick him in front of something that's generic, that's non-distracting, that doesn't take away from the main point of the photograph, which of course is his face. So I've just found a general background. I'm going to show you what a busy background looks like in a minute, but this is a general background. And I have my exposure reticle right on his face. There we go, that's cool. This artwork is some of my favorite that I've ever seen. It is beautiful etchings that are put in the stone, and it's done by a local artist here in Jaipur, well known. So now I'm going to offset Ulysses and make the background part of the story. And now he's going to be in the right part of the frame. Exposure is still locked. That actually looks I think this is my favorite right here. That looks cool. The only thing I don't like about shooting the video portraits is that the white balance, the focus, and the exposure in the native video app is all crunched together. It's baked. I can't control the white balance independently. I can't control the focus independently. I can't control the exposure independently. So that's why I use a camera replacement app like Camera Plus to independently control focus, exposure, and white balance, because rarely, if ever, in photography are those the same points in the frame. We are here with one of the staff women, a beautiful Indian woman, and she is graciously allowing us to photograph her and continue our short series on cultural portrait. So looks like about 5 o'clock, sun's about to go down, the light is beautiful, it's cloud cover so it's soft, she doesn't have to squint. So I put her in these beautiful arches and I'm gonna kind of work my magic around her. It's got like a beautiful smile, natural smile, beauty on the inside. She's full of life on the inside, it comes out. She's gonna have a strong smile. So a lot of times, I'm not gonna over-direct somebody when I'm taking their portrait. Sometimes they smile and sometimes I tell them to like tame down their smile. You just have a soft smile or smile on the inside, which is what we have going on here. So same thing. Super handsome Indian kid. We're again at the Raj Villa, Jaipur, Oberoi hotels. And we are in flat, indirect lighting. In other words, it's about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's about to go down. This whole courtyard in the restaurant is in full shade. So that means the light on him is soft, indirect. This is the perfect time for exposure. Here's the deal. This guy, I'm 6 foot, so he's taller than 6 feet. He's a tall guy. So that means if I'm shorter than him, then my camera is always like this. And when you're shooting up at somebody, it's not flattering. It's just not flattering, right? You don't want to be looking up their nose. And also when you're shooting up with any phone, it exaggerates the face. So I can shoot like this, but I can't quite, actually, I can, that's what I'm gonna do. I was gonna stand on a chair and show you how to do it, but you can raise your iPhone. So I'm gonna go a little bit above his eye line and then shoot down on him, see? So that's gonna be a more flattering shot for him and for me. My focus, yeah, you just look right here, right at the camera, that's good. And my last shot, I'm gonna kind of show you how close you can and cannot get when you're shooting iPhone portraits. So you can see my focus reticle is right on his eye. If you don't have the eyes focused up, you don't have a portrait. Now, I've got my head and shoulder shot, so as a general rule, when we're shooting cultural portraits like this or any portraits, you don't crop at the joints. You don't crop at the neck, you don't crop at the elbows, you don't crop at the waist, you don't crop at the knees. That looks kind of awkward. So in this case, I'm gonna basically crop chest high, shoot vertical, tilt down a little bit, and I'm gonna see how close that I can get without exaggerating his features. Remember what I always say? You need to be about an arm's length from the face. So I don't want to be much closer than that because he'll start to look distorted, okay?